The following is a hockey podcast out of Vancouver and Surrey, British Columbia. It'll only consist of a lot of puck talk and even more BS, or in actual words, banter and satire. Enjoy, and as always, go Canucks go.
It's a win, baby. 2 points ahead of the Flames. They got no games in hand. Hey, the Oilers, the Vegas Golden Knights, they wanted Drew O'Connor. Okay, it wasn't a race for a top four defenseman. It was a race for Drew O'Connor. And who got him? Patrick Alvin. Let's talk about that win against the San Jose Sharks on Locked On Canucks.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Just like my game in the sack, it ain't pretty, but I got it done, and the Canucks got it done tonight. A 2-1 win over the San Jose Sharks. My name is Trevor Beggs, co-host of Locked On Canucks, and as always, I'm joined by my brother, Kyle Bowen. And Kyle, it wasn't pretty tonight, man. I feel like I aged watching this game tonight, but the Canucks, despite a pretty up and down performance, they found a way against the San Jose Sharks with a bunch of dudes. So I'm like, who the F is this guy?
Yeah, dude. So many random players, but man, you want to talk about random players? How about Drew O'Connor? I thought this guy's name was Drew Harris. I thought this guy was Connor O'Connor, Michael O'Connor. I didn't even know who this guy was when we made the Marcus O. Pettersson trade. I forgot about this guy. It was the Marcus Pettersson trade. But man, oh man, Drew O'Connor through 3 games has played big. He's played strong. He's played fast. He's been physical. He even took a penalty today because he was being a bit over physical on Wallman, which I didn't mind because Wallman was going after Garland all game. And there he is in overtime scoring a penalty shot goal. Like, what type of season is this? Like, I don't even get it. And Trevor Beggs, a couple things, okay? And please just run off of the Drew O'Connor point, okay? But man, oh man, okay? Filipino, the reason why this game is tied, okay? Makes the horrible turnover with 90 seconds left. San Jose ties the game. But I like what Patrick Alvin does. To begin overtime, he puts Filipino back on the ice, okay? Giving him the cosign, go get the job done. And I'm not really that surprised, too, because we need offense, and he's our best center. Like, he is 10 times the player as Elias Pettersson right now. That is just the truth. All that being said, who's playing with Filipino to start overtime? It's not Brock Besser. It's not DeBrusk. It's not Elias Pettersson. It's not Connor Garland because he's hurt, maybe. It's Drew O'Connor. And next thing you know, after Filipino screws up defensively on a 2-on-1 and doesn't even back check, looking like JT Miller, he retrieves the puck after San Jose it up because they're San Jose, takes it the other way. They're on a 2-on-1. He springs Drew O'Connor on a mini breakaway. Drew O'Connor gets hooked, gets a penalty shot, and scores in overtime. Like, these weren't the Canucks last week. I'm talking about the players in general. And now we're 2 points ahead of the Calgary Flames. Like, what the hell is going on this season in Vancouver?
Yeah, it feels like a very different Canucks team right now. I mean, look at where this team was a year ago, right? With 5 guys going to the All-Star game. And now tonight, man, I don't want to go dark, but they kind of reminded me of Rick Tocchet's Arizona Coyotes, right? It's just a workman-like group, a lunch bucket group, going to work, working hard, somehow grinding away to get the job done, despite the fact that they didn't generate a lot of high-danger chances. And, one crazy stat from tonight for me, Elias Pettersson, when he was on the ice at even strength tonight, the Canucks didn't get a shot on goal, Kyle. They didn't get a shot on goal at evens with Elias Pettersson on the ice. And, you talk
Trevor,
about
why you got to do this, man? I'm not trying to lose my hair, man. Come on. Why you got to stress me out, make me mad, make the people hate me? My aunt already hates me. Straight up. She's probably going to raise the rent. Like, come on. Why you got to do? Nobody. Does anyone want to talk about Elias Pettersson? Let me know in the comments. Like, can we just talk about Drew O'Connor? No, Trevor, I'm going to shut you up right now. Okay, then we'll run the report cards, and I'll let you poo-poo on Elias Pettersson. But why do you think, and we got to talk about Thatcher Demko too, but we got a lot of time here, okay? And we'll be joined by a couple friends from Canucks Uncensored as well. If you don't know them, I don't even know them pretty well, but I laugh at their stuff, okay? I don't even know their names. But we a family here, okay? Anyways, stick with the Drew O'Connor point. Just for a second, Mr. Negative, darkest guy on the program. I feel bad for your children on nights like today. Why do you think the Oilers in Vegas wanted him as well? Let's start there.
Well, I think there's a couple of main reasons, and there's the tenacity and there's the speed. And I think that's a dangerous combination. And again, I didn't have high hopes when he had that penalty shot because the big knock is his finishing ability. But he managed to score the goal and get the Canucks to win. And that's what matters most tonight with this 2-1 win over the Sharks. But I think Drew O'Connor, he's a good two-way forward. I think he brings a reliable defensive game. He's not cut out of position, and he has the speed to get back in the play when he is cut out of position. I know overtime is a bad example, but 3-on-3 hockey is a bit of a different beast altogether.
Yeah.
Filipino tonight again doing his best JT impression, both with the speed and the chances, and with the turnovers. The full JT experience with Filipino,
and the back checking.
That
was some of the worst back checking I've ever seen, dude. At one point, it was like, okay, I get it. This is going to be a work in progress. It is what it is. But I don't know if Drew O'Connor is a work in progress. Like, I don't know if he can get better. I don't want to hear like this, oh, this guy's a potential 15 to 20 goal guy or 25 goal guy. Like, he's had chances. Look at what he did last year. 16 goals in however many games, blah, blah, blah. I just like how he's fast and big, okay? Like, Danton Heinen can score 15 goals, but he's not fast and big. Like, he's fake fast. But Drew O'Connor's actually fast.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. He's one of the fastest players in the NHL this season, and he's easily one of the fastest players in the Canucks here now. And the decision to go with Hedl and O'Connor as your starting two in overtime, I do think was a bit of a message to the rest of the Canucks team on a couple of levels. I think first and foremost, like you said, DeBrusk wasn't going tonight. Elias Pettersson wasn't going tonight. And in general, even with Boeser and Garland, this team as a whole has been brutal in 3-on-3 overtime. And to be honest, I do think it's a bit of a fluky trend that will reverse itself. I don't think this team is just forever doomed in 3-on-3, but it hasn't worked this season. And he had Hedl and Garland were kind of the main two guys when this team last played in overtime, and it didn't go well when they were on the ice together. So Rick Tocchet probably feels like he's running out of options there. So why not put your two fastest forwards out there in 3-on-3 in a game that's largely decided by speed?
Yeah, and even on that, like it's little details too. It's I'm not gonna say it was at the end of Drew O'Connor's overtime shift. It was still at the very much the beginning, but the way he separated himself from the San Jose defender from the red line to the blue line in that like tight succession, like that's what generated the goal on the penalty shot a few seconds later. But that separation, that's true speed. That's like, I'm gonna will this within my soul, my legs to get that separation. It's not built up speed. He did that in the span of like 0.5 seconds. Cause for a moment there, it looked like a 2-on-2 just for a small moment, but it turned into a 2-on-1. A lot of interesting individual performances. You know the deal. We really want to break down this game. We got to get to your comments. We got to get to the people. And we also got to get to these report cards. Okay. Let's run it. 5 minutes for report cards. Okay, let's do this. You know the deal. We go through every single player in 5 minutes and just grade them, okay? I know Trevor's already going to spend 2.5 minutes on Elias Pettersson, so let's just go fast, okay? Brock Boeser, C. Carson Soucy, I'm sorry. I like this game. I'm going to give him a B and a half. You know what that is? It's not a B plus, but it's a B and a half. Connor Garland, I love the guts. I love the grit. Not his best offensive game, but I love the heart and the leadership. Brad Richardson calling Connor Garland the best leader in that forward group in the Vancouver Canucks, and he's a dog. I'm gonna give him a B. Filip Hronek, dude, I thought that. Let's start here with Trevor Baggs with Filip Hronek. I liked his game today. Defensively speaking,
Filip Hronek has looked serviceable as the number one defenseman with Quinn Hughes out of the lineup, and that's a major compliment because I think there was maybe some doubt and some trepidation about him in this market, but. Yeah, I give him an A- tonight. I mean, the Canucks in general, they were outshot by the San Jose Sharks. And I know that is a bit deceiving. They controlled play for a large part of it. But, again, Filip Hronek had his moments, but this team altogether, probably a bit below what you'd like to see against a team like the Sharks.
But hey, Trevor, the silver lining in all of this is of course, we haven't seen the best version of the Canucks because Elias Pettersson sucks ass. I mean, he's just not playing well right now. And Quinn Hughes hasn't been here with Marcus Pettersson. And Quinn Hughes hasn't joined this decor where like Filip Hronek is solidifying himself as a solo individual savant. And that's what he has to do. Like, the amount he's getting paid, we need more from Filip Hronek, and maybe he can do it on his own. Drew O'Connor, I think it's pretty obvious. I'm giving this guy an A+. Niels Höglander, I liked him the whole game. I'm not going to front. Like, I grade these guys individually, Trevor, and I'm giving Niels Höglander a B+ too. I know he didn't get any points, and again, not a lot of high dangers across the board from these forwards, but Niels Höglander looked like he had a little bit of spark when he got promoted when Connor Garland was hurt, but in general, I just like the way he was skating all game.
Yeah, he looks tenacious right now. And again, when he's in the offensive zone and the puck's on his stick, he's out muscling guys to that puck. And just again, playing with a bit more pop than he was earlier this season. I mean, there's a few guys here who I like coming up too. Pius Suter, he seems to torment the San Jose Sharks. And
Yeah.
He gets the primary assist on that goal for
You got to
Joshua.
sign him. Trevor, you got to sign him. Like I announced it earlier this week.
The
Like I
right
wouldn't be
price,
surprised.
yes.
I would not be surprised because my sources, aka my intuition, are telling me that Pius Suter's about to sign like a 3-year deal worth $9 million or something. Okay, with the Vancouver Canucks, they need him. They need him, and just specifically on that play in general, the Canucks need some offense, and nobody's going today. And who gets double shifted on a must score power play in the third period? Who gets double shifted? It's Pius Suter. All season long, Pius Suter has been better than Elias Pettersson. How about Elias Pettersson? What did you think of his game today? For a rookie, not as impressive as it was against the Colorado Avalanche, but let's be real. As a rookie, his 4th game in the NHL, if my math is correct, having like 4 or 5 shots on goal, I'm still giving this guy a B+.
Yeah, no, I think, again, relative to expectations, Elias Pettersson was great tonight.
Elias.
Yes, fell for that old trap.
Don't lie to the people, okay? Don't lie to the people.
Yeah, his ice time was down a little bit tonight, 13 minutes, but tied with Tyler Myers with 3 shots on goal, so tops among Canucks defenders in this one. Derek Forbort, I give him a C. Marcus Pettersson, I give him a B. Elias Pettersson, I'm giving a D- in this game.
I'm giving him an F.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's
That
the
was
number
one of the
one
worst
story
games
with
he's ever
watching
played
the
in his
Vancouver
life.
Canucks right now. It's the number one story. It's like,
Yeah,
what the hell happened to this guy? Kiefer Sherwood, I give him a B- tonight. Teddy Bluger, I give him a B. Myers, a B. Hedel, interesting night. I give him a C+. He still showed those flashes, but he also had some pretty glaring errors in this game as well, Kyle.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to give him a C because the way he finished the game. Can I give a C and a half? I don't know if I want to give him a C+. Like I feel like I was a career C+ student. Okay, so I don't even want to give him the benefit of the doubt. You got to be more accountable, and some of that back checking, some of that lazy stuff. Like that stuff is never gonna work for me. Okay, it isn't. The turnover, trying to make something happen at the end of the third period, mistakes happen, but just the way he was back checking, like he's so lucky that they were playing San Jose. Him and Elias Pettersson, very lucky they were playing San Jose. Jake DeBrusk, another quiet game, like a C, but Dakota Joshua up next. I'm sorry. Every time this guy scores a goal, like, trust me, I've been in and out of the hospital recently. I was just at the hospital a couple hours ago, okay? The lady was doing an ultrasound on my heart. I wasn't allowed to watch the game. I missed 10 minutes of the second period. But at the end of the day, anytime Dakota Joshua scores, I got a soft spot for him. I'm not going to lie, because it's been such a crazy, intense season with so many ups and downs. And again, before he got injured again with his hip, I thought he was bringing back the physicality and warming up. And I hope this goal gets him warming up on the other end of the spectrum when we're talking about Dakota Joshua. And that's the offensive side of things.
Yeah, he had some pop and step tonight too. Made a really nice play along the boards. I think he's looking a bit more noticeable, kind of like Nils Höglander too. And those are two guys who were keys for the Canucks last season and were prime candidates to regress, which is more or less played out. But again, both those guys are looking like they're heating up a little bit. Nils Amon made it back into the lineup, and man, oh man, one of the biggest hits of the season. Just for that, I'm giving him a B. And Thatcher Demko gets an A+. The Canucks probably lose this game without Thatcher Demko tonight.
Oh, 100%. And again, we'll touch more on Thatcher Demko on the other side with the boys from Canucks Uncensored. And honestly, there's a couple funny comments coming in too. We're going to get to all that because, again, me and Trevor weren't the only ones who watched this game, okay? Anyways, that was 5 minutes for report cards. And Trevor, I don't know who we're shouting out here before we get to the other side.
Yeah, let's take a break here. Looking forward to chatting with our friends from Canucks Uncensored on the other side after we shout out our friends over at Gametime. All right, the Vancouver Canucks are taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs on Saturday at Rogers Arena. And if you want to take out a small loan or a mortgage to go to that game, well, you're probably going to have to do that because the tickets are freaking expensive, man. It's unbelievable. But the way to find the cheapest tickets to that game is by using Gametime, baby. Because Gametime, they get the lowest price, the guarantee, which means that if you find tickets for elsewhere cheaper on another app, Gametime, they're going to scratch your back, baby, and they're going to give you 110% of the difference. Gametime, they also got that feature Gametime pick, so you can be on the crapper, you can be in bed, and you can feel like you're at Rogers Arena or wherever you want to see sports, comedy, concerts, theater, all that good stuff. So make sure you take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Go download that Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off. Download Gametime today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
Okay, we back. Trevor Beggs, Kyle Bound, just two Canucks fans. Okay, we're gonna be joined by two other Canucks fans in 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. Actually, just right now. These guys are from what? Canucks Uncensored, and I don't even know their names. But hey, we are all locked on Canucks. I mean, we're all Canucks. Okay, again, let's get Canucks Uncensored in here. Okay, let's get together. You guys get together, hug each other. Canucks Uncensored.
Personal there. Jeez.
There you go. Sorry, we got to fix the
Get you
format
back
here,
on.
but it is what it is.
Man.
We got
Come on
Will.
over.
Is it Witten or Wilton? Witten and Jordan.
Yes.
What's up, boys? How you doing?
What's up?
Dude, we just
Fantastic,
won.
man.
We're 2
Fantastic.
points ahead. We're 2 points ahead of the Calgary Flames. Like that feels good. I want to start here again. We'll get to know these guys more on a personal level throughout the season. Okay, maybe these guys will join us more. Who knows what the future holds? But it's been such a crazy season, and Trevor and I always talk about this still needing to be a season where the Canucks need to make the playoffs. Are you two on the same boat? Even though again, it's just been such an inconsistent season. This team is a wild card team. Nothing in cement here when it comes to the positive side of things. But am I onto something? Like, do the Canucks need to make the playoffs this year?
I think they do, and I think they still can. I just, for me, I don't know. They haven't won back-to-backs for a long time up until recently.
Yeah.
And I said they had to go 6-2 to keep up with the Calgary Flames before the Four Nations start. And just like that, they've won back-to-back, and then they've lost the game, and then they've won back-to-back. So,
yeah.
And in the middle of all that, it was the JT Miller trade too. So they're 5-1-1 in this time. So that's crazy. But we're in a playoff spot, and we're 2 points up on Calgary and 1 point behind LA, even though we play 3 more games. That's insane.
Yep. Yeah.
Well,
The Canucks are climbing up there in the standings right now. That's for sure. And Jordan, I'm curious about your vibes on the team right now, man. I mean, when you mentioned the JT Miller trade, and I think for 3 games here, the Canucks looked pretty darn good without JT Miller in the lineup. But Jordan, what were the vibes tonight for you? Because I didn't feel like it was didn't have quite the same vibe as the first 2 games without JT Miller.
No, definitely not. Well, I mean, this question about should they be going to the playoffs? Well, us just that 2 weeks ago, we had our faces in our palms just saying, how the hell are they so bad right now? And so, but typical Canucks, right? That's all they do. They just tell us they're, play like shit. They look like they're not going to do anything. Then all of a sudden, we've rattled off we're 6-3-1 in the last 10 all of a sudden.
Hey.
This team just doesn't know how to do things the easy way, do they?
Oh, dude, come on. Of course not. Look at the top of my head.
Yeah.
No, straight up. Yeah, I'm 31. I'm 31 and I'm almost. Yeah. Oh, you got gray hair already too. Like I'm telling you, man, this is, I'm not going to front. I actually feel like this, for whatever reason, and maybe I'm getting way too emotional and I'm not focusing on the real things in life, or maybe I'm just still so, I'm feeling like the effects of the overdose that was last year. It was so emotional last year, but this year, like, it just feels like one of the most stressful Canucks seasons I have ever endured. And we still got 30 games left. We still got a Four Nations Cup thing that we got to watch because Quinn Hughes might play in it. And like, I don't know, is Miller going to kill Pettersson? Like, what's going to happen? Like, there's just so much drama with this team, but it's ironic that we need a savior, Trevor. And Thatcher Demko may be that guy. And I read the comments earlier. Somebody's like, hey, you guys owe Thatcher Demko an apology. It was maybe like, what, the game after, was it, did Lankinen play against St. Louis? Was that the game that, did Lankinen play against St. Louis? Anyways, there's a game early on in that road trip where we're like, yo, we need the wins. Lankinen's our starter. He's that dog. And the next thing you know, Thatcher Demko's got 3 wins in his last 4 starts. He almost got back-to-back shutouts. Like, he's been really good, Trevor, in recent history. And while Elias Pettersson sleeps or whatever he does, like, dude, again, this guy might be a healthy scratch in the Four Nations Cup, to be honest, for Sweden. While he's doing that, Quinn Hughes and company need help, and maybe that comes from Thatcher Demko becoming a superstar again.
Yeah, I mean, the ceiling of this team is capped offensively a little bit right now, but Kyle, like you said, Thatcher Demko was we talked about him potentially being the Canucks MVP last season at points until Hughes kind of emerged towards the end there. But, Thatcher Demko can be one of the best goalies in the world. And we said it before too, everydayers know that, we didn't feel like it was a good idea to consider trading this guy, right? With the Canucks in turmoil, what's Demko's health going to be like? Do you just get rid of him now? But, you were never going to get full value for Demko. And the best thing you could do with Demko is just hope that he'll play out of it. And I believe he'll play out of it. It takes goalies a little while to come back. Now, Whit and Jordan, I don't know if you're team Demko or team Lankinen, but do you think that the Canucks should be keeping both of these goalies long-term, or should they be looking to move on from one of these guys at some point soon here?
I think you need both. I don't think I ever lost faith in Demko. I truly believe that he needed some more time because of the injuries that he had, and it takes goalies a while to get into form. It's a very difficult position to play, right? And especially the rehab that he had, an injury that not many people have had, and you had to search outside of hockey to find out what other people had these popliteus injuries. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Right. And and the last 2 games, you can actually say he looks like Thatcher Demko, which is amazing. You could say that, right? I'm close to saying that he's back, but I still need to see a little bit more. But those acrobatic saves, like the confidence that he plays with, that's what I want to see. So to answer your question, I think they should still keep both of them long term, but Demko's starting to show that he can play more of the games to get in the rhythm for the playoffs. But a week ago, even, Lankinen was my playoff starter, but now I can start to change my mind. You have to go off results, right? And up to this point, he hasn't shown it, right? So, but I'm happy.
And Jordan, maybe I'll throw it to you after this, but I just feel like it's so important. I've been mentioning this all the time. Like, it's so important for this version of the Vancouver Canucks, minus JT Miller, minus a gaping hole in their leadership, whatever that means, minus all that chaos that might have left the building, for their new leadership core to be built around still having Thatcher Demko be a part of it. But the only way Thatcher Demko could be a part of the main source of leadership coming out of that room is if he's playing well. Like, I'm sorry, but backups can't be the leader. Like, someone that's struggling can't be the leader. That's why I always say, I know Tyler Myers is playing really well right now, but you don't, like, I don't know if teams win Stanley Cups if Tyler Myers is your second best leader. Like, they need a dog to do it behind Quinn Hughes. No offense to Tyler Myers, I'm just saying. Nope. But if Thatcher Demko comes back to being a superstar, then, he gains more of the respect from that room, even though he has a ton of it already, considering that he's done the most. Risking his knee is Pop Elias, Pop Otios, Pepto-Bismol, whatever it is, just to get back in the lineup. And boom, bam, he's playing like a star now. And I just feel like the team needs, obviously for the physical reasons, but for the philosophical reasons, this team needs Thatcher Demko to be a dog. They need the stoic all-star goalie to be one of the real dogs in that room.
Well, let's just say this, okay? There's a reason why they went out and got Lankinen. Okay, so yes, I'm glad to see that he's back to form, or coming back to form. I was a big Demko fan, of course, like everyone else, after the bubble, and a Vezina caliber season last year. But I'll tell you this, guys, this guy has given us blue balls one too many times. Okay. He looks like he's a game stopper. He looks like he's an all-star goalie, which he is. Then he just gets hurt. So I'm just waiting for that popliteus to pop again.
Oh, no.
I'm not getting too excited right now. It's 2 games. Yes, he's gone back. He's 2 games in. When's the next injury going to happen? Game 1 of the playoffs again? So,
okay, you know what?
Thank God we have Lankinen. Thank God we got a good backup and a good 1A, 1B, because who the hell knows what's going to happen down the stretch.
Okay.
And yes, we're going to need him to make the playoffs. Making the playoffs, I think we do need to. We have 2 years left to Quinn Hughes?
Is it 2 or 3?
Hopefully more.
After this season, we got 2 more years.
Okay. More, but we gotta get into the playoffs when this guy is still in his prime.
Yeah, we gotta get into the playoffs. So sorry to cut you off, Jordan. There's a bit of a lag, but we just got to get into the playoffs so Quinn Hughes can experience more playoff hockey. Like, I'm not even thinking about him leaving, but just in general, I needed to gain experience for next season and the season after, because that ultimately makes you a champion. And the whole Thatcher Demko thing and how long he's staying, he's going to stay to the end of the contract. We know that. It's going to be interesting to see, like, him and Lankinen compete, because I already guarantee that they're going to extend Lankinen too. It's going to be one of those things, but all in all, I'm just really proud of Thatcher Demko. And we can talk about it's only been 2 games, Trevor, but Trevor, like, superstar players have to have those superstar moments. And this guy made so many big saves. And to be honest, if it's not for Philip Hedl and Derek Forbert a bit, it's not completely his fault. I mean, he makes almost an iconic 3-peat save on Tyler Toffoli to preserve that shutout. Obviously, it didn't happen, but he's athletically pulling through for this team, doing whatever it takes. Like, he's playing with that heart and fire, and it's tapping into his instincts. And he knows he has to do that. Like, there's no Quinn Hughes. Connor Garland's playing with one shoulder. Elias Pettersson's not stepping up. Somebody has to do it. I know I keep throwing Elias Pettersson on the bus, but somebody has to do it, and Thatcher Demko's done it. Even against Colorado, that 2-minute shift that Colorado had with Nacich, McKinnon, Mark McCarr. Thatcher Demko looked like he was 97 overall again, Trevor. That's what's needed here.
Vintage Demko that game. That 2 minutes. Somebody made a video and said Demko the shift in reference to the Sedin shift, but that's your Demko edition, right? Save after save after save. That 2 minutes, insane.
Well,
insane.
We do have a confession to make tonight. Demko would have had a shutout if it wasn't for Witt tonight.
Oh, you said it, eh? You said it.
With 10 minutes left.
10 minutes left.
It is what it is, man. It is what it is.
And I said, he better not score Witt. And lo and behold, what happened?
It happens, bro. I was making the thumbnail for this episode with Dakota Joshua and Thatcher Demko on the cover of it, like, before the game ended. So, like, I cursed it as well. But at the end of the day, again, Trevor, like, I'm just so proud of Thatcher Demko. Like, all the doubt, all the ups and downs of this team, and I don't know. There's a lot of morale in this, and there's a lot of storytelling in this, and I would love for this season to be saved, ironically, by one of its main characters being Thatcher Demko. Like, it makes sense.
He's the longest tenured Canuck, and again, he's got that MVP quality about him. I mean, he could be the guy to save this team. Kyle, you guys are talking about playoffs a little bit too, right? With Hughes and Demko. I'm kind of curious for all you guys to answer this, and maybe we'll go to Whit, you and you, Jordan, first. If the Canucks make it into the playoffs, look like as a wildcard team, which team do you most want to face in the playoffs if you're the Vancouver Canucks?
Most want to face.
What are the options right now? Edmonton or Vegas? Is that?
Yeah, maybe LA, maybe Winnipeg, right? If they're going to play the top team in the Central.
I mean, based off of what I've seen, probably LA for me.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah.
That's who I would face right now. The other teams just too much firepower, too dangerous. It's scary. Like, I'm pretty sure it's almost a guaranteed knockout if it's a Vegas or Edmonton. We're gonna get killed. Right?
Ooh. Jordan, okay, Jordan, what do you got to say about that, Jordan? What do you got to say about it?
Okay, I want an Edmonton rematch. Okay, we owe those guys a spanking. So screw that. Okay, and this whole McDavid and Garland thing, they're going to have a big rivalry, and we're going to come out on top. Okay, just like the last game we played. Oh no, sorry, we got spanked by them last game. Never mind. But Connor,
like that.
Connor Gimli Garland is going to come out and show him that he's the better Connor, like he did in that game when he got cross-checked in the face.
Trust me. Right? I would love for all of this storyline to happen.
Of course,
I'm telling you, I would want this more than anything, right?
But for you to say that we would just lose, come on.
I'm not going to agree with Witten. I'm not going to do that. But what I will say is this: like, if we get LA or another team that's not Vegas, Winnipeg, Edmonton, blah blah blah, then this may happen. Okay, and I know. This seems like mission impossible, but then there's an extended runway. And a quote unquote easier an easier opponent for Elias Pettersson to get find his game in. You know what I'm saying? Like for any chance of the Vancouver Canucks to make an extended playoff run, because I'm not even there yet. The way Elias Pettersson's playing, I'm like, just get to the first round. Let's experience another. Let's make Aquilini happy. Let's have Hughes play some more playoff games. Get used to the speed. Get used to the forechecking. I'm being literal when I'm saying those things. I need Hughes to dissect playoff hockey just for another round. Okay, get better and better. Compound interest, right? Stack up those playoff appearances. Okay, but at the end of the day, if Pettersson don't wake up, we're not going anywhere. Demko could do this. Demko could do that. Lankinen can do this. Connor Garland can do this and that. But it's just the way it is. You need at least 3 dogs going. And yeah, like right now, Pettersson is just a shell of himself. And Trevor, like you kind of brushed on it a bit. Maybe you want to brush it on some more, but that was probably his most invisible game in quite some time. And then after you go on a rabble, I'd love to know like Witten and Jordan's thoughts about Elias Pettersson this season and where you guys are with him right now.
Yeah, well, I will say this first, Kyle. When you're talking about, the Canucks just get into the playoffs, they're not going to do anything because Pettersson's not playing well. I will say this: the Vancouver Canucks got to Game 7 against the Edmonton Oilers last season, largely without the performance of Elias Pettersson, right? So, and they had a third-string goalie in net. So I'm just saying, even with Pettersson, you got Demko in net, you got Quinn Hughes, baby, you got the floor of this team.
Really
You
had
got Rick Tocchet.
a
Things
year.
can happen, okay, even without Elias Pettersson. So it's interesting, Whit and Jordan. It sounds like you guys, similar to me and Kyle, like Whit, you're the voice of reason. Jordan, you bring the emotion. But Jordan, I'm on your side. I want the rematch with the Edmonton Oilers. If you want a different answer for me, I would like to see the Canucks somehow play the Avalanche. The team I don't want to face is the Winnipeg Jets. I think the Winnipeg Jets have just had the Canucks numbers. So probably give me Edmonton. That would be I'm all about the story. Oh, and Elias Pettersson, I guess I didn't really answer that. Yeah, he looked terrible tonight. He was god awful. It reminded me of that game in November, boys, when the Canucks were in San Jose, and it felt like every time he touched the puck, something bad happened. He was making the wrong play, and he probably was one of the worst forwards on this team tonight. It's just he's bobbling the puck, he's slow, he's tentative, he's not moving his feet, he's not getting to the spots. He looks like an absolute ghost of himself. So yeah, it was maddening to see, but I was trying not to touch on it too much. I was trying to put it out of my mind.
Yeah. I think Pettersson has been absolutely horrible for a long time. And at the beginning, I was defending him. I was even saying things like, oh, it's probably his tendonitis. It's probably that, right? And that's why he's skating so slow and he's not having speed bursts or whatever, right? Like we've seen all those stats, how he's not having many of those. And even when he does reach top speed, it's not very often, right? And then some more reports came out that it's related to his conditioning, which was connected to why Miller was calling him out. Hey, like I'm older than you by 5 years, and I'm the top conditioned player, and you're over here sitting there with your 11.6. What the heck are you doing, man? Right? Because I remember before that contract, this guy was top 5 conditioned every year. What happened in this last year? Right? So like if you, I don't know, not training, eating unhealthy or whatever the heck this is that's going on right now, and you're not able to use your speed burst or whatever, like that's a huge problem. That's a huge problem for me. So that's why I don't really give a lot of, a leeway or a pass for Pettersson, right? I give Demko way more of a pass than Pettersson, right? Like up to this point, like difference makers have to be difference makers. He's not even at the point where you can say, oh man, he's so dangerous out there, he's just snake bit. It's not even snake bit, not even close.
Yeah. Dude, Pius Suter's playing better than him. Pius Suter's playing way better than him. Teddy Bluger's playing way better than him. Let's just have honest conversations. We're at that point with Elias Pettersson where it's like, oh, he's boxing out a player and it led to a Jake DeBrusco. Like, oh, look at that IQ. Look at that hockey IQ. He's the best. Oh, look at that defensive play. You want to talk about his defensive play? Like it's late in the third period. We need a face-off win. Do we get that face-off win from Elias Pettersson? I don't think so. Anyways, Jordan, where you? Maybe I'm gonna put you on the spot. Actually, can you say something positive about Elias Pettersson? Sorry, maybe I know I've seen you on TikTok. You an emotional guy. You a funny guy. I love when you just rant about the Canucks. But can you just let's just heal our hearts a bit, okay? Be positive about Elias Pettersson if you can. Lie to the people, okay?
I'm really happy for Elias Pettersson. Because he's a rich mofo right now. I think that's the most positive thing I can say.
Holy crap.
Okay? He's got his money, and he can do whatever the hell he wants. Good for him. And that includes doing whatever the hell he wants. That includes doing nothing on the ice.
Damn. Okay. You know what? Before we go even further, let's just, save the rest of the conversation for another night. I want Canucks Uncensored back on Locked On Canucks. Before you two leave, my aunt did ask a question. She wanted to know, I think this is the best way for some new people to get to know you. Like, everyone's got a Canucks podcast. Everyone's got this and that, blah, blah, blah. I'll co-sign these guys. These guys are funny as hell. Go follow them. They're just rowdy as hell. Just follow them. It's a little different. But where did this Canucks journey start for you guys? Like, not the podcasting stuff or the internet stuff. I don't care about that. Like talk about the first time you fell in love with the Canucks, and then we'll send you on your way.
Okay. So for me, I think watching Pavel Bure on a breakaway as a 5-year-old kid started the journey for me. That was what started everything. And I remember I would always ask my dad, hey dad, when do the Canucks play or whatever? And then my dad would always tell me. And I remember for like 2 weeks, my dad didn't my dad just said, the Canucks aren't playing for 2 weeks. And then I happened to look at the newspaper and see he got spanked like 5-0. I'm like, Dad, they did play. The Chicago Blackhawks spanked it. Like, beat us. What happened? He's like, sorry, son, I can't have you experience losing like this. No, Dad, I can take it, right? And we went through some dark times, experienced like, the end of the Bure era, the West Coast Express, the Dean era, and all of this. So that's how it started for me. And I play a lot of ball hockey, not really ice. I can't really skate, but so that's kind of my journey of how I got into Canucks.
I guess Jordan next.
For me, it's all of my relatives, my uncles, and everyone who's close to me, they were all big hockey fans and Canucks fans, and I just followed suit. And I had a hockey stick in my hand, and when I was 2, would play in the backyard. And there's a video of me when my mom took me when I was 3 in the backyard, and I had a hockey stick and I'm shooting the ball around, and then she goes, "What team are you playing for, Jordan?" And I said, and I was 3, and I said, I'm Canucks. Right? So I've always been a fan, and but I think I really became a fan, of course, when Bure came along. That's when the rocket skyrocketed my fandom, especially in '94. I was in the 2nd grade. I was 8 years old. I'll never forget. And we went to the final, and we lost. And I remember where we were, where I was, but the one thing that I always remember and that really made me understood how big of a deal that Canucks was after that final, even after we lost, they had a Canucks fan appreciation night at BC Place. It was on a weekday during school. And one day, and the day that it was happening, my dad, he surprised me in the morning. He's like, "Guess what? This is what we're doing." I was like, "What?" He's like, "You're not going to school today." "Oh, no, tomorrow." "Yeah, you're not going to school tomorrow." And I said, "Why?" "Because we're going to the Canucks fan appreciation night." I just remember being so excited. I went to school, and I went to my teacher. And this really hit me when I did this. And I said, "Teacher, I'm not going to school tomorrow." And she's like, "Oh, why are you not going to school?" And I said, "Because I'm going to the Canucks fan appreciation night." And she's like, "Hey, okay, that's so cool." And I just remember as an 8-year-old, dude, okay, must be a big deal.
Yeah.
We're not going to school this day. So,
Teacher, I'm sick. Suck it up.
Say that again, Trevor.
Teacher, I'm sick. Suck it up. Teacher, I want to go see the Canucks fan appreciation. Oh, okay, have fun.
Yeah, but no, she was cool about it, and she understood, and I think that's really hit me. That's like, okay, it's cool to be a Canucks fan.
That's good. Okay, there you go. I love how we're finishing on that note. Like so much back and forth. Again, like a wild card team, boom, man. It feels like it's a step back from last season, but the fact that we're here, like just watching meaningful hockey in the moment. I'm a bit older now in life too. Like I'm just blessed, man. Again, to have the butterflies in my stomach, still watching Canucks games, because when they're fighting for a playoff spot, like it or not, and if you want to compare it to last season, go ahead. It's still cool being a Vancouver Canucks fan. And 3 years ago, it wasn't. But hey, we're fighting for a playoff spot and we're watching meaningful games. So that's a blessing. Anyways, thanks so much to Whitten and Jordan. I'm happy to finally know your names. Again, I just been following you guys online, and thanks for joining us. I'll hit you guys up in the DMs again. And if you guys ever want to talk Canucks, we're trying to just globalize this Locked On Canucks thing. You guys are welcome to join whenever. Just keep doing what you guys are doing. Keep it raw though, man. Keep it raw and just do something different like you guys are doing, man. One love for joining us.
Just raw dog it.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having us, Kyle and Trevor. We really appreciate the time. And we watch you guys' stuff. We follow you guys on TikTok. You guys are veterans in the scene, so we can only do it, but look up to you guys. But thanks so much for the time.
Peace out. No, one love. Thanks for the words, guys. Thanks for the words. Okay, that was Whitten and Jordan. Go Canucks, go. Sorry we didn't get to a lot of comments. It is what it is. The funniest comment that I did see today, Trevor, and I know we're at the 40-minute mark, and you're probably going to get hypothermia or whatever that thing is when you get cold outside. It was somebody saying this, okay? Let's end it on this note, and it is what it is. Caribou Canucks saying the Canucks need to threaten Pettersson with the trade to the Rangers to reunite him with JT Miller if he doesn't get his shit together. No, here's the thing. We won today. I'm happy we won today, but this is the recipe for success. Like just depth, good defense, good goaltending. Quinn Hughes, like again, the whole all season long, Trevor, he's been good for a goal and a half, maybe a goal and a half a game. Like he's getting a point and maybe he's getting 2, right? So there's a recipe still there for success because not a lot of players can do that across the league. Like it's McKinnon, it's McDavid, it's Draisaitl, it's Cale Makar, it's a couple more players, and it's Quinn Hughes, like providing that much offense. We'll still make the playoffs, but I will be so surprised if Elias Pettersson comes back to form. Like it's not going to happen this season. We would have seen the motivation, but I just feel like he doesn't have the athleticism right now to do it.
Yeah, he's going to be a talking point all season long. But I think, Kyle, one thing that we got to talk about maybe this week on Locked On Canucks or maybe during the Four Nations break is how patient is Jim Rutherford and Patrick Allvin going to be with Elias Pettersson? Look for that on another episode of Locked On Canucks. But for now, we got to get out of here because it was a 2-1 win over the San Jose Sharks without Elias Pettersson. Just like they drew it up, Drew O'Connor the winner in overtime. Thanks for tuning into the show. If you like what we're doing, go subscribe and like us on YouTube, on the podcast site. Go follow us and leave a 5-star review. And for our friends at Canucks Uncensored, go find them on TikTok and wherever you listen to podcasts as well. But we got to get out of here. I'm Trevor Beggs. That guy's Kyle Bowen. And you've been listening to Locked On Canucks.
Peace.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.